Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I'm really excited for this video because we are seeing two games, one loss, one win, same composition, same map, and I'm going to break down the differences that kind of happened from the loss and from the win, kind of what we did differently, what the enemy team did differently. But first, I want to tell you guys two things. One, I'm recording on a new camera. It should look a lot better. Here's what my old camera looked like, and it's kind of awful. And here's the new one. Very, very excited. I'm using the Cam Link from Elgato, so shout out to them for sending it to me. And I'm using the Sony a6000. Links will be down below if you guys want to check that stuff out. And also, number two, I'm doing a giveaway, guys. All you have to do is follow me on social media. I'll leave the link down below for the giveaway, but I'm giving away some Razer earphones. So good luck, have fun on the giveaway, and let's jump into this video. All right, guys, so here we are on Ruins of Lordaeron here in the first match. So we are fighting a jungle cleave in both games, guys. We're going to be fighting a jungle. In the second game, we are going to be playing a little bit different. In the second game, we are actually fighting a marksman jungle. I do believe this first game is going to be survival, but it's a similar matchup, not the exact same matchup, similar matchup on Ruins of Lordaeron, and we are playing Demo Ellie Resto Druid. Right away, I kind of want to note all of the things we're doing here in this first game. I haven't actually watched the playback since I played this live, so let's see. So right away, I root the priest, getting some flame shocks out. This seems fine. Now my warlock is taking a lot of damage, and I already used the root on the priest. So right away, from my point of view, I shouldn't have been using that root on the priest. I should have been really peeling the DPS already. My healer is going into that full bash trap, and my warlock's taking so much damage. So right away, I could have done a better job at peeling. I'm trying to heal my warlock, but instead, it should have been something like I hex maybe the hunter while we get a stun on the feral for some nice cross EC, but instead we've already used our stun on the feral with no hex on the hunter, you know, and we want to get that cross EC so the feral doesn't dispel the hex, right? But we've already used the stun without using the hex. I've already used the root on the priest, so all in all, we're not using very many defensives. I'm spam healing my warlock, which isn't bad, but once again, guys, this is such a big mistake. The priest is running in. I hex the priest. We're fearing the feral. Now we're playing way too offensive. So my hex is on the wrong target, right? I'm hexing the priest when my warlock's at 20%, when I should be hexing the hunter with the fear on the feral to cover. Would have been nice cross EC, but the priest is now coming in for a fear, and I didn't knock him back, and I didn't slow him. I didn't put a frost shock, and now the priest is gonna fear my druid out of the trap. I already know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be stun trap into fear. My warlock's taking way too much damage. The fear might have been slowed, but does eventually come off. So we slow the fear a little bit. Now the druid goes into that full fear. Now we're getting some nice counter pressure. And don't get me wrong, guys, counter pressure is very important, but at the same time, if we peel that opener, we would have had much more defensive cooldowns. My lock, I think, had to use gate, Hellstone, and Wall from the opener, and the druid has not even used Incarnation. So here's the Incarnation. My warlock has no defensive cooldowns, and this is looking terrible. I do believe my druid skinned in the opener as well, although I cannot confirm that. My druid looks like he still has Trinket. Does Trinket that CC that hits him right there. We're peeling the feral druid with stuns. And now this is just very scary. Once the defense, once the next CC chain hits my druid, we could pretty much lose, right? My warlock has no defensive cooldowns. The druid has no trinket. I'm very scared for the outcome of this game. Having seen how it's been going so far, right? Like the next CC chain on my druid, warlock should essentially go down. So we're stunning the feral here. We're getting out damage. I pretty much need to be getting more effective defensive hexes out, and then making sure that the priest doesn't fear my druid off of the traps. Like both of those things kind of in combination would keep my warlock alive. But now the full bash is coming out onto my druid. My warlock's doing a great job kiting. He does get stunned though. Now the full trap coming out onto the druid. Once again, I'm throwing some off heals, but the priest, right, you can't quite see, but on the left hand side of my screen is going to fear off of that trap, and I have knockback, I have my root. I should have really been looking to stop that fear. Now both DPS are connecting on my warlock. Warlock once again doing a great job kiting, uses that gateway to run away, and does hold on for another go. So, I mean, that's pretty good. We have survived about 2 goes now, but we are on the back foot. The priest is 60% mana, so we are winning the mana war if we can stabilize. The problem is we're kind of out of defensive cooldowns. My warlock's half HP, and then my druid's going into CC chain, starting with the warlock at half HP. my healers in the full stun, into the full trap, into the full fear. Once again, the fear has not been stopped. That's the main thing that I'm really noticing this game. The fears haven't been stopped. Not a bad root totem there onto the hunter, throwing some more heals onto my warlock. I'm pretty much out of mana, and it looks like he's going to go down, but he hangs on about 10-20% life for a little bit longer. Once again, my warlock's doing a great job at kind of hiding a line of sighting. But he is not really topped yet. And now the CC chain happens when my warlock's about 40%. So like the first CC chain that got cooldown, second CC chain started at 50%. Now it's starting about 40%. And now the stun into the trap. Once again, looks like the priest is going to go for the fear. They don't even need it. And my warlock does go down. So what do we need to focus on in that game, guys? We really need to focus on that cross CC, utilizing Hex a lot more. Like, I need to utilize my Hex a lot better. Call that I'm hexing the hunter. Cross CC the feral with a fear or a stun so that we can lock them down defensively on their goes. Not just whenever, on their goes when they trap my druid. Get that double cross CC. Additionally, I need to use my knockback, my slow, my roots to really stop the priest from connecting to my druid and getting that fear off of the trap, right? I need to be the one to say, no, every time that you're running close, let me knock you back away so that my druid can get out of that CC a little bit earlier, top my warlock. So for the next CC chain, my warlock's actually topped instead of being about 40 or 50%. But let's look at this next game. Here we are in the next game. One huge thing to note, it is a marksmanship hunter, right? So this matchup isn't quite the same. It is actually very different, but same map, similar composition. Against this, we really do want to focus on a lot of the same things we were talking about, but additionally, line of sighting this marksmanship hunter is going to be very, very important. And if we can just line of sight the hunter the entire time while kind of getting some cross CC, while stopping the fears when possible, but really managing to line of sight the marksmanship hunter, we should be able to win this game right away. They're on to me and doing a great job of staying by the pillar, really playing the positioning well. And now the full bash trap is coming out on my druid, but they use the fear onto my warlock. I'm not in any trouble. My warlock's not in trouble. It looks like they're going on to the druid there in that go. He does use bark skin. Looks like he's going to be completely okay, and they run away. So additionally, guys, the enemy team isn't really doing the right strategy, right? Like, they're going on to the druid and they're going on to me. They're not really hitting my warlock too much. So we'll see if they change up their strategy here in the future. The mind control does come out onto my druid. We purge the mind control pretty much instantly. I moved my frame on accident there. I do remember this game now. Played it probably about a week ago now. I'm like, what the heck? Moving my frame. I had to lock that after the game. But anyway, leaping to the pillar, playing to my advantage with that line of sight. I have full hots up. I actually don't have wall. I used wall in the opener, so I'm at about 50% health, but I do have hots. But keep in mind my positioning, guys. Marksmanship hunter can't really connect me if I'm just playing near the pillar, throwing those healing surges onto myself, and playing swelling waves. So those additional heals are going to be kicking in, a couple seconds after the initial heal does land. And main priority, guys, is that line of sight. And we have great fears and we have great bashes. Once again, in this game, guys, I'm really not utilizing Hex as much as I could be. This game's going much smoother because it is a marksmanship hunter, but in this game, guys, I need to throw the hexes out onto the hunter when, maybe if my warlock or my druid's in trouble and we cross it for the feral. That's a defensive hex, right? An offensive hex would be once we want to set something up on, say, to the feral, we bash the feral or we throw an axe toss onto the feral, get a lot of offensive pressure rolling, and then we throw a hex onto the priest, right? We root the priest into a hex, something like that, and the feral can't dispel it, and then guess what? We force the feral to trinket dispel, or we force that priest to now trinket the hex. So he's playing Relentless, we can't even trinket the hex, so we're gonna force maybe a trinket wall from the feral or a trinket dispel from the feral, and 2 or 3 setups to that, and the game's over, right? So there we get the pain suppression and the turtle coming out from the other team defensively. And this team is just on such the back foot, like complete opposite game here. We're doing a great job of just shutting down this hunter's damage. I'm actually very curious to see what the hunter's damage is at the end of this game, because it looks like he's almost doing nothing with all of this line of sight. Now here, I'd finally get that full hex out onto the priest, but very, very bad mistake. The feral was not covered, right? There was 2 seconds left on the stun here on the feral, and we actually stunned the hunter instead. So I think we called out, like, all right, are you ready for the hex? And yes, but we did not get that stun cover onto the druid, so it just gets dispelled instantly. Not the greatest play there once again, but you know, it's better than not using Hex at all, I guess. But we do want to make sure to get that cover when we do manage. And really, guys, this video is about criticizing my own Elemental Shaman gameplay. Once again, I'm very new to the class. I've probably played maybe 100 or 200 games on it this season. I'm guessing it's probably around there, but I only made my Shaman a few weeks ago, right? I think we're playing at around 2400 MMR, and you know, moving up in the world, but definitely have a lot to work on. So hopefully these videos can help you guys kind of see what I need to work on, be like, oh, I need to work on that too. And you know, in addition, maybe you don't even play Elite Shaman, but you need to work on some of these things on other classes as well. So what this enemy team wants to do is probably run into somewhere like the room, right? They want to, or the hunter should really be playing back. So if we want to push in to them, the marksmanship hunter has free reign to hit us. If they're playing near the pillar, which means we can just completely line of sight, we have to play their game. I mean, if I was the enemy team, I would really be playing in goes. I'd be playing like back. I'd be playing in the room, and then I would do a go where, you know, you stun the druid, you do a big go into the warlock, get a bunch of cooldowns and kind of reset. Having said that, this is a very difficult matchup for them when we are playing in such, just, I'll be like honest with you guys, in such a lame way, right? We're really playing just super lame defensively where they can't, you know, do much. Now the warlock they do find the target, which is the warlock. He does use wall right there, and they kind of figure out, okay, warlock is going to be our best target if we're going to kill anything on this team. That was the incarnation. They are forcing defensive, so it can work. But at this point, guys, the enemy team, the priest at 30% mana, we're hitting off his Vim over and over, so he's having trouble healing. I'm playing completely aggressive at this point. I do have wall. Let's see if my healer calls for it. Looks like he does. Throw out the wall, have a bunch of hots, getting a couple healing surge. I should be 100% fine with, if I just keep line of sight of that hunter, of course. And my healer goes into that trap, but it's only half. It looks like we're going to be okay. And if we keep up this game, guys, the priest is eventually going to run out of mana. He won't be able to get that Vim back up on himself, and everything will crumble. Defensively, though, my warlock is going down, and I'm kind of tunnel visioned once again on damage. Right here in this position, I should be focused on maybe stopping the fear out of the CC on my druid, which I am in position to do that. I should be maybe going for some cross CC. My warlock could fear the feral, and I could hex the hunter, something like that. I should be healing my warlock. I should be rooting the DPS, and I'm really just focused on the damage. So not a great play by me defensively. Once again, now that I know that, next time I play this matchup, I will definitely be focused on that. Because, guys, LE Shamans have multiple jobs. I did an LE Shaman guide. If you haven't checked it out, you can check it out. But they have, you know, an offensive job where they have this offensive pressure. But their primary goal, I mean, they have control. They have that offensive pressure. But their primary goal is that utility, that support of, you know, controlling the enemy team, shearing the enemy team, rooting the enemy team, healing your team members, knocking back enemy teams. So you're really, that your role is to be annoying. Your role is to shut the enemy players down so they can't do what they want to do when they're doing their goes. And since this is essentially a go-based comp with stun traps onto my resto druid, I want to be the annoying player that's like, okay, as soon as you do that, I'm going to throw out a hex onto the marksmanship hunter, you know, stun an Earthshock stun onto the feral, knock the feral back out of line of sight, root them both so they can't move, and they're just like, oh, I can't play. You know, I want to be that guy. I'm not quite there yet here in this game, but, you know, I hopefully can make strides toward that in the future. But, you know, defensively, for myself, I'm playing fine. I'm, you know, sticking near the pillar, you know, bobbing in and out, kind of making sure that hunter can never get free reign onto me, and it looks fine. I'm going to skip through this game just a little bit because more of this goes on and on and on. The priest, though, I can't remember quite exactly how this game finished, but I'm guessing that the priest slowly kind of went out of mana. We got him out of Vim range. His whole enemy team kind of crumbles. Yeah. So, right, I'll go a couple moments before this kill here. We have Stormkeeper down, or I have my artifact ability up. I just start chain lightning everything. The priest at 9% mana, probably struggling to keep himself up out of that Vim range, and we do finally get that kill on the hunter. The feral druid did have that incarnation up, so yeah. Defensively, guys, we did see some same problems in the first and second game. The second game was a marksmanship hunter, so it's much easier to shut down the marksmanship hunter with a little bit of line of sight. The enemy team could have played a little bit better positionally, maybe forced us back by running into the room. Once we pushed in, boom, did it go. If they also started on our Warlock instead of messing around at the Druid and me, they might have been able to force more defensive cooldowns early and had a better chance that way. So there's a couple things the enemy team could have done better as well, but we did manage to take the W here in this game, and I'm very curious to actually see the damage breakdown. 48 million compared to, you know, the 111 that I did, or the 110 that the Feral did, 85 that the Warlock did. So the Hunter guys just got completely shut down. But I hope you guys enjoyed that game at about 2350 MMR. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you did not like the video, make sure to thumbs it down and talk to me in the comments about what you guys want to see for next time. Guys, don't forget about the giveaway. It's the link is in the description if you guys want to sign up. It's free to sign up to get your Razer Hammerhead earphones. So good luck, have fun. Click the link in the description, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.